I don't want to brag, but I'm on a date.
Got him!
Throughout Tamriel, if you look around any table, you may find this mouth-watering dessert, honey nut treats. The textures didn't age well after more than 10 years since Skyrim's development, but I always found the idea of honey glazed nuts in a skewer to be very appetizing. Honey nut treats are rich in unsaturated fats, fiber and protein. It will give you a considerable boost of energy before starting a long quest, but also serves as a nice reward after completing one, pairing it with a cold pint at the tavern. This was one of the first recipes I eagerly went to check if it was included in the good old Elder Scrolls official cookbook by Monroe-Cassel as soon as I got it. And surprisingly, but to my delight, it was included. It is also easy to make and super quick. I know that I've only featured snacks on this channel, but if all goes well, we'll see more complex dishes in the near future. So stay tuned for new videos from Tastes of Tamriel series. Still, today we're going to take some liberties with this recipe, especially since it begins with an insulting immersion break. There's no electric kitchen appliances in Skyrim like food processors and microwaves. I love this book, I really do, but I don't like these little details. It's convenient but not fun. It would be the same as creating a wizard character in a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, then having materialize a desert eagle in one hand and cast shoot to the face cantrip. Again, it would be convenient, but not as much fun. I guess it would be possible in-game with mods, but I'd not run mods on Skyrim. Well, except for the saucy ones, like everyone else, if you know what I mean. And one or two exceptions who are really silly and make me giggle like the full-bearded child that I am. I take it back, mods are fun. But I digress. My solution, to refrain oneself from using electricity, is to apply the good old or friendly elbow grease. Our food processor will be the faithful mortar and pestle. Nords have a +5 on one-hand skills anyway. The book mentions that you can substitute in any nuts or nut butters you like in this recipe, and it will be just as tasty. For which I firmly disagree. There's at least one kind of nut that should never be added to this recipe or any dish whatsoever. You'd have to be quite a nut job to consider it. Pretty much like a brothel, nuts are expensive, and so I took advantage of this tip to make a selection of my own. Originally, the book lists dates, raisins, almonds, oats, honey, smooth or crunchy peanut butter, salt, and ground cinnamon. For this video, we'll switch the golden raisins for black ones to give the snack more color, and we will add peanuts and walnuts for a more heterogeneous taste and a crunchier texture. But feel free to experiment with any selection of your favorite dried fruits. It's really up to one's preference. So, let's get to the cooking. Get 2 containers for the dried fruits. Soft ones like dates and raisins go in one, these will be minced. Hard shell nuts go in the other. This will be crunched. We'll start by adding whole almonds to the mortar. Rolled oats. Unsalted peanuts. And walnuts. Like any sailor returning from war, I was eager for a nut. Thus I got clumsy, forgot to properly show you the mise en place, and went straight to smash my nuts on the bottom of the stone mortar. Alternatively, you can shout to the mortar, but no true Nord resorts to gimmicks when muscle strength can be used. Clean the blood from your dagger, and let's miss soft dried fruits you reserved. Start by cutting the dates open. Remove the seed and inner membrane, also known as the endocarp, leaving just the pulp, as empty on the inside as the women I usually date, but not as bitter. We can now mince the raisins. A fun fact about raisins. Scholars believe they were discovered in a wide area between ancient Persia and ancient Egypt, when people noticed that some grapes stuck on dead and dry shoots on a grapevine and dried by the sun were edible, really sweet, and last longer without mold, proving once again that everything happens for a raisin. They are also super toxic to cats and dogs, so if you have a four-legged friend nearby, please be mindful not to let them eat the scraps off the floor. I'm using black raisins and dates, but I wonder if dried apricots would improve the taste. Ages ago, when I recorded this, I had a few dried apricots left that I bought to make this book's version of skooma. I have a clip of the end result in my Instagram page. But I'm skeptical since apricots are very sweet already, and mixing it with honey will turn these treats way too sweet to be enjoyable. Still, if anyone is willing to try it out, please let me know how it went. Place the minced ingredients in a bowl, and dump the crushed nuts in the same container. Mix it together and shake it vigorously. Set a beat to it to make it more fun, like a big maraca.
When I play the maracas, I go chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom.
To glue it all together and form it into balls, we need to add honey and peanut butter.
Peanut butter!
For seasoning, let's add salt and cinnamon. I wonder if a bit of clove would also improve the taste. I'll make a mental note for next time. When choosing a type of honey, I learned that it's very much like my interest in your mother. Dark and thick works best. It'll give a more intense flavor and it helps gluing all the ingredients in a firm shape, as we'll see later. You'll have to take off your gauntlets for this. Pick up a piece of parchment and place it on the table. Mix all the ingredients together very well. With your hands, form the mixture very tightly into firm brown balls.
Say everybody, have you seen my balls? They're big and salty and brown.
Keeping a firm shape is crucial to prepare this treat. This is where a second deviation from the original recipe comes in. The book version reads, in a large bowl, heat the honey and peanut butter in a microwave or on top of a double boiler until they are a little runny. If the ingredients are a little runny, they won't stick to the skewer in a ball shape, and it will fall over the plate. The next step even mentions this. If your treats start to slide, I suggest that you eat them a little quicker or add a few more oats. I believe this would only be necessary if you store your peanut butter and honey in the fridge, or for some other reason they're rock solid and you need them to turn into liquid form. Otherwise, I advise to skip this step altogether. Then, if you're forming balls, made out of nuts, liquid honey and peanut butter, how can one keep them from falling over the skewer? Simple. Apply cold. As most of you fellas would know, temperature changes the shape of certain materials. And it works the same way with food. Therefore, we can use this reaction to our benefit. By forming the mix into balls with our hands, you'll be already conducting heat from your hands to your balls. No pun intended. A warm treat will slip from the skewer, a cold one will adhere to it. Hence, for better consistency, the mixture should be kept cold. If you're a fancy pants mage, casting a frostbite spell will do. If you're a true son of Skyrim or live in a cold environment, leaving the bowl next to an open window will do the trick. But alas, I guess if you're prone to install mods, letting the mixture chill for a few minutes in a metallic bowl inside the fridge will do as well. It took some time and patience, but I'm quite happy with the results. I am not a chef, but boy are these nuts firm! This is the tricky part. Gently press the skewer, making a row of 3 or 4 balls in each one. Just be mindful not to point the skewers towards your knee. This might end your days of adventuring and slaying dragons. Or trolls. Or anything else. And there you have it, honey nut treats, one of Tamriel's most beloved foods. Perfect to share with friends with a cold pint of mead, ale or lager after a long day of adventuring. I hope you enjoy and have as much fun making these treats as I did. New content is coming up soon, so stay tuned for the next video. Thank you for watching.